Welcome, everyone, to WWTA News, where we look at crypto, finance, and economic news. I'm your host, EB, and thank you for joining us. All right, welcome, everyone. Today we've got a good question, something that I found interesting, and I'm sure a lot of people find interesting, and we probably want to see if we can figure it out. So, this is going to be a general conversation, obviously. But the question is the economy slowing down? I'm not sure. But I have a few headlines and a few articles that we'll look at, and we'll try to make sense of this. Is the economy, the United States economy, well as the global economy, actually starting to slow down? So we'll start one of the first headlines I got here from Bloomberg. Get shots or get out. U.S. employers are telling workers. Well, what's the relevance of that? Well, study shows that 44% of employees would quit if ordered to get vaccinated. Wow, thank you, Forbes, for letting us know that. Get the jab or lose your job. How to create an enforceable COVID 19 vaccination policy for your workplace. The jab or your job. Mandatory vaccinations in the private workplace. Employers react to workers who refuse vaccination as COVID 19 cases rise. All right, so what do we have here? What we have here is the potential for employees to literally resign from their jobs or be terminated based on companies and new policies that are coming out from the pandemic. So we could see potential there. Well, the possibility could actually be great, very great. Actually, the more we begin to think about this, or as we attach different companies, businesses, and so on and so forth, we could actually see a great potential of the economy slowing down from these headlines alone. But let's dig a little further. So, supply lines. This global trade bellwether shows signs of a return to normal. This is from Bloomberg as well. China's Evergrande saga threatens to cast a shadow on one of the economic engines of recovery, global trade. The growth pace of South Korea's exports almost halved in the first 20 days of September from the same period last month as shipments to China and semiconductor sales to the rest of the world slowed down significantly. So we're already seeing that in September there was a slow of these semiconductors being sent out to other countries, right? So on a global trade, globally looking at this, we can see this can really begin to cause a slow in economies. Continue. While the momentum and overall trade stayed largely alive, and calendar differences made the figures look worse than they may actually be, the data came after manufacturing activity slowed in China, and as new risks are rising in the world's second largest economy, including the potential default of one of its biggest real estate developers. So, with their manufacturing activity slowing down, all right, we don't have to just talk about semiconductors. China manufactures a lot of goods that they ship across the world. All right. So not only are we seeing that their manufacturing has come to a slow, but their economy, right? Their economy, one of their biggest real estate developers, defaults? Really? So you can see here clearly these two things will play a large part in slowing down economies worldwide. But let's continue. The Evergrande issue increases the risk of a cooling in the Chinese economy in the fourth quarter for trade. Risking that, right? Said Park Sung-hyun, an economist at HI Investments and Securities. So they can see that the Chinese economy in the fourth quarter is really, they can see the potential of it really slowing down because of the slow in manufacturing and that default that largest bank suffered from. Other threats to global commerce. The Delta variant of the coronavirus, which has already led to shutdowns of some key ports and factories, and the tightening of regulations on tech firms in China, which could hurt demand for South Korean chips, he added. So, with the Delta variant, that has caused more ports to shut down as well and factories. So, we're slowing down the production of goods, right? Let's continue. International trade statistics, trends in the second quarter, right? In the G20 countries, in quarter two, they did grow a little bit. Shipping goods were coming in, and so with goods coming in, the G20 countries were able to sell, but that's because they were able to receive, which we just saw China being one of the major suppliers. They were actually for a little bit able to keep sending goods out. But what's happening now? The slow of manufacturing. But let's not skip ahead. Let's figure out who these G20 countries are, who had the merchandise coming into them. So our G20 countries consist of China, Mexico, Germany, Brazil, Japan, India, Argentina, Indonesia, Russia, Australia, South Africa, France, Italy, United States, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Canada, South Korea, United Kingdom, the EU, Netherlands, and Spain. So those are our G20 countries that in Q2 they did pretty good with merchandise trades. Now, let's continue to CNN business. The shipping crisis is getting worse. Here's what that means for holiday shopping, right? All right, so London CNN business. The vast network of ports, container vessels, and trucking companies that moves goods around the world is badly tangled, and the cost of shipping is skyrocketing. That's troublesome news for retailers and holiday shoppers. So let's just stack on more and more news here. We already know the problem we have with China with semiconductors and the fact that the Delta variant has caused manufacturing plants and ports to come to a close, right? Causing the possibility of China's Q4 taking a very very big hit. They're not doing anything right now, right? So with that, we can see shipping costs increasing, right? So that's going to cause prices to go up in all economies. All right. So it says more than 18 months into the pandemic, the disruption to global supply chains is getting worse, spurring shortages of consumer products and making it more expensive for companies to ship goods where they're needed. Right. Unsolved snags and the emergence of new problems, including the Delta variant, means shoppers are likely to face higher prices and fewer choices this holiday season. Companies such as Adidas, ADDDF, Crocs, CROX, and Hasbro, HAS, are already warning of disruptions as they prepare for the crucial year end period. So they're talking about Q4. These companies are saying, yes, it's going to get crucial. There's going to be disruptions and shortages. The pressure on global supply chains have not eased, and we do not expect them to anytime soon. Let's see. The latest obstacles is in China, where a terminal at the Ningbo Zhoushan port south of Shanghai has been shut since August 11th after a dock worker tested positive for COVID-19. Major international shipping lines, including Maersk, AMKBY, Hapag-Lloyd, HPGLY, and CMA-CGM, have adjusted schedules to avoid the port and are warning customers for delays. So the delays are coming. We will see a slow in the economy going into Q4. All right, so our question was, is the economy slowing? Well, it doesn't look like it did in Q2. Q3, nah, not so much, but definitely looking into the possibilities for Q4 based on these articles, we can expect to see a slow going into Q4. So, should we be preparing for that? I mean, if you clearly see here there's going to be shortages of supplies, then yeah, we might want to take advantage of knowing this information going into Q4 of the year 2021. So, thank you for joining us at WWTA News. If you enjoyed our video, please hit the subscribe and like button and join us next time to follow the news in crypto, finance, and economics.